Phoenix Suns were real busy remaking the roster. And joining us on the program right now, their general manager, Brian Gregory. BG, how are you today?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so are you sitting on a beach in the Bahamas right now celebrating? You with the Ashford Castle in Ireland? I mean, what do you do after having such a great week?
Get back to work. We still got a lot of stuff to do. Excited about what happened over the last 72 hours. But, now we start getting ready. We bring our draft picks in this weekend. They got some stuff they got to get done. And then we start getting ready for our summer league training camp that will start in a week. And then we're off to Vegas and play some games and start building things up. So we're ready to go by next fall. So a lot of things going on, but we're excited about where we're at right now and some of the moves that we've been able to make as a team.
We'll find you some vacation time somewhere. Don't you worry. Look, you took over an overpaid, underachieving team that didn't have any heart and passion, that was vastly underachieving, and you had a very few movable assets. And in a matter of 5 days, you turned that into a younger, bigger, more athletic team that the fans right now are very excited about. Talk about your vision of remaking this roster.
Well, I think you hit a lot of key points that kind of acted as our foundation, moving forward. All you have to do is watch where the game has got to at this particular point. And having that perspective of the game, you look at it and you say, length, athletic ability, the energy, the effort level, the pressure on defense, the pressure that you have to put on the rim offensively, the protection you have to have on the rim defensively, the ability to, have a little deeper bench and be able to rotate guys in there to play at the pace with the cutting and the movement that you want. We just took a long, hard look at ourselves and as a front office came up with, okay, this is some of the things that we need to get done. And fortunately, because of all the situations, we had an opportunity to do it. And I think this was a great first step. I think you have to constantly be evolving and trying to, and again, I can go on for hours. The best thing that, I learned during the coaching process, looking for our head coach, was how forward-thinking Jordan Ott is and what's next. What's next on the horizon in the league.
Sure. And
I think our job is to give him the tools, resources, and then build a team around what's happening now and what's going to happen in the next 3 to 4 years.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the draft. You drafted the Duke center, Kaman Malawach. We were all shocked that he was there at 10. Earlier in the day, you had agreed to make the trade for Mark Williams. You've got a little bit of a logjam now with 4 centers when you add in Nick and Oso. What are your plans at center? And would you still have made the Williams trade had you known that you were going to draft the Duke kid?
Well, as you know, I can't talk about any of the trades. I can only talk about our draft picks. And when you have someone of Kaman's talent level, character level, work ethic, the background of playing at Duke for John Shire, the success that they had, there was no question that if he was on the board, he was our top prospect heading into the draft. And prospect number 2 and 3 behind him were pretty darn good too. So we were excited about being able to bring him in. We felt that one of our keys that we needed to address was our ability to protect the rim defensively, to be able to execute different ball screen coverages, some more aggressive, some where we forced difficult twos by our opponents. And so that versatility on that defensive center position on those ball screens was very critical. He's got great hands. So his ability to catch and finish around the basket was critical. And then, I'm going to be honest, when you do your intel work and you talk to the people around him and you look at his journey to where he's at right now, he has been well prepared and well challenged to face and exceed whatever expectations we put on him.
Right.
I just think he's one of those guys that is scratching the surface, and some of the, life challenges that he's faced really puts him in a great position, even as a 19-year-old, to be ready to just explode in terms of his potential and the impact he can make on this franchise.
I was blown away by what you guys were able to do to put yourself in a position to get Rasheer Fleming. And I know you were looking to try to maybe move up in the first round, try to get to the end of the first round, 29-30 or whatever, to see if you could get him. Weren't able to do it. 3 trades in the second round before the draft even started. I've been covering this league for a long time. All right. I've never seen anything like that, where a team was moving. It was like a chess game what you guys were doing to put yourself in a position to get Fleming. I'm really impressed, to be honest with you, because I've never seen anything like that. Tell me about your vision from getting up at 5 in the morning to being able to get yourself in a position to go from the end of the second round to the first pick in the second round.
Well, Gambo, I mean, it started at 9 o'clock at night the night before. We were able to look on the board in terms of in the second round. There was 3 or 4 guys that we had really targeted as first round guys. We sat down, Aronde Telefero and myself and Josh Bartelstein and Matt Ishbia and Matt Tellem, and we went through our evaluation forms that we have put together from our scouting group that did just an unbelievable job. And we said, okay, Rasheer Fleming is the guy. We looked at our roster, we looked at our future, we looked at our current state, and we said, this guy, is not only talented and not only brings a lot of stuff to the table that's important to us, but that versatile forward that even can go a small ball 5 if necessary, could be available. How do we do it? And then we started the pieces that next morning, making the calls, trying to put together an opportunity to get him at the same time, without depleting future assets. I think that's one of the best things, at the end of this thing, our future assets are basically at the same point as they were 2 weeks ago, which was critical for us. So that movement and that shifting and adjusting, again, I'm going to be honest with you. This was a total team effort. This was my first time kind of more in charge or overseeing that draft room. We had so many good people working in there, as I said, with Josh and with Matt Tellem and with his group, with the analytic group. All those things have to come into play. You're checking on who's going to give you a higher net ranking, who's going to, what's the rebounding rate. All these different things come into play, and you got to have everybody on the same page. And I thought that was maybe, to me, the most impressive part of what we did.
Brian, I don't want to ask you about specific players in trades or trades in general. I just want to ask you about your roster as it stands right now. As Gambo alluded to, you've got a lot of centers and you've got a lot of 2 guards or smaller wings. There seems to be some rebalancing still to get done. So with that in mind, how active do you expect to be on the trade market over these next couple of weeks?
Well, I think you're always looking to improve your team. You're always looking to put your current players in better positions to be successful. So, again, with the roster development, I think there's, opportunities there for, some additional pieces to come in on a free agent side. And then obviously always looking at, in possible trades. And as I always say, I'm never going to talk specifically or anything like that, but I think what's happened is over the last few weeks, you've seen that we have a pretty good game plan in place. And the other thing that you have to do is you can't force stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you may want it, and you may think it's the best move, but if it doesn't give you exactly what you're looking for, if it puts you in a difficult position down the road, then you got to have some patience too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think we're going to show that. We're going to be very organized in everything that we do. We're going to be very intentional in everything that we do, because we want to get this thing right. You know, as I say time and time again, we got to put our players in the right position. We got to give Coach Ott and his staff the opportunity to have a team that can compete, and more importantly, have a team that can continue to grow. You heard me talk about the pathway to success in the development phase is going to be critical.
Right.
And at the same time, you have to make sure that with this community that is, longing for a team that plays with that intensity and plays hard and plays with the grit and toughness that we want to play with, that's always on top of mind for us, that's what we're trying to create.
All right, leave me with this, Brian, as we let you go. You turned a soon-to-be 37-year-old Kevin Durant in what was the 2031 pick from a few months ago into Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Williams, Malawach, Fleming, Brea. You still have a first. You still have a second. In your opinion, could it have gone any better?
Well, I'll talk about our draft. We were very, very pleased. When you talk about ending it with even a guy who I think has a great chance to play in this league one day, undrafted two-way in C.J. Huntley, Kobe Brea out of Kentucky, even though I'm claiming the Dayton Flyers for him, Rayshare Fleming, Kaman Malawach. I mean, we are very, very excited. We are pleased, and as I said, I'm even more proud of the group that put that whole thing together. So we're in a good place. We're not exactly where we need to be. We need to keep getting better every day.
All right, Brian, appreciate the time. Congratulations on what was a hectic and crazy and very successful 5-day stint with you, from the trade to the 2 days of the draft, and on remaking the Suns roster into the image that you guys wanted. Congratulations on that, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate you.
You got it. Thanks, Brian. That's Brian Gregory, the general manager of your Phoenix Suns.
Thanks for watching Burns Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.